Yo, Doc, wake up, man. Got some big news.
What's good?
Yo, Canelo beat up Boots.
For real?
You mean like in the street?
No, he beat Boots.
Oh, you mean like in Mortal Kombat? No, man. He beat him in sparring.
Sparring?
We're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Who the cares?
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donera.
What's up, guys? Designer's Eyes.
Here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk, and we are back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I don't know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man, so check this out. But before we get to it, let's go ahead and smack that like button. Let's do it together. Appreciate you. That helps us to keep going and growing on this YouTube platform. Now, let's check this out, man. We have some news coming out of Saul Canelo Alvarez's camp, aka Cinnamon, man. Personally, one of my favorite fighters, right? Y'all know this, right? But we have some news about him sparring Boots. And despite a lot of people's opinion, you know, a lot of people, like I wouldn't say the majority, but a lot of them goofies, you know, they think that it's a bad thing that in regards to Boots' character for him to spar Canelo. I mean, they're boxers. We have people box all types of different people of different colorations, complexions, different nationalities, different regions all the time. Why is this an issue? That's up to you. I don't know, and I don't really care. But there's been some pictures coming out about, indeed, Boots and Canelo sparring, you know, and these are some of them here. And as you know, or may not know, you know, Boots and, you know, sorry, not Boots particular, but Ennis, the Ennis family, whether you talk about his brother, Boots Ennis, you know, or Boots Ennis, they have a relationship with Canelo's camp. They sparred before years ago. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about over a decade ago in preparation for some fights. So this is nothing new. However, it is news because of the upcoming mega fight between Cinnamon and Budrick, right? So that fight coming up, you know, Canelo's trying to get some good looks, some different looks, right? And so this gentleman here, who I'm not really too familiar with, he said, hey, man, I have some sources, somebody close to the Ennis camp that have told me that Boots was getting the better of Cinnamon. In fact, he even made him quit after 3 rounds.
Bullshit!
And of course, that's interesting information. Don't get me wrong. But when he says that this other person said that this transpired, I get a little skeptical. But let's say it did happen. I think that's good. You know, it's so funny that these people will act like they know so much about a topic, like they have an expertise in a topic, or they're a boxing aficionado, or whatever the topic may be. And it just seems like they don't really know much. Now, like I said, it is interesting information because you would like to know what goes on behind the scenes. But this is practice.
Listen, we talking about practice.
It's practice. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do get excited when they hear that Michael Beasley, shout out to Michael Beasley. I love the resurgence of his career. But some people got too excited, in my personal opinion, when you hear that Michael Beasley beats LeBron James in one-on-one. Or whoever else he's beating, Dwayne Wade, whoever else he's beating one-on-one. Whose career would you rather have? Would you rather have LeBron James when the lights come on and you're in the game? Or Dwayne Wade's or Michael Beasley's? You see what I'm saying? I don't care who's winning behind the scenes. I don't care 1v1. What happens when you're actually in the game? You see what I'm saying? If that's the case, then let's go back to boxing. Would you rather have Martin Bakoli's career, who's the unquestionable sparring king, the super dominant sparring king, or would you rather have Alexander Usyk?
If you out here getting fake vagina over your fake jury, reality is reality.
Yeah, I think that's a very simple answer. So why do we get so, you know, conveniently excited or disappointed in Canelo or super intrigued by this fight like it's the end of the world that Boots may have got the best of Canelo? Boots is a very great fighter. He's a beast. He's phenomenal, right? And if you're getting somebody in there for certain looks, then I think that you're bringing them in so you can get looks that you're not accustomed to seeing or things that you want to work on, right? So it's better to get crossed over at practice and dunked on than to get crossed over in the game and dunked on, right? So when you practice things, you fail a lot in practice. So when it's actually time to shine, when the spotlight comes on, you could succeed. You know how many times, like me as an engineer, right? You know how many times I studied and I got the question wrong? But when I got to the test, well, you know what happened. That's how I got my PhD, and that's why you call me Doc. You feel me? So you're supposed to have bumps and patches in practice. That's the time you're supposed to get dirty and bruised up. So when it comes to the actual game and for you to actually showcase your abilities and the time where it counts, you do better. So to me, it's good that he's struggling in practice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, okay, bet this is great. That means that he's going to actually turn a full 360 or whatever, or 180 or whatever on the actual night of the fight. And he won't be able to, he won't struggle necessarily with anything that Bud's going to throw at him. First of all, Bud's not Boots and Boots is not Bud. That's number one. But number two, I'm saying that at least if you struggle with it at practice, that means that you've seen it before. It doesn't mean that you're not going to struggle with it on the night of the fight, but at least you've seen it before. You gained a familiarity with it. Like I said, man, you bring people in for sparring because sparring is practice. It should be a hard practice. You see what I'm saying? And you're bringing somebody in for certain looks. I don't know if Canelo was working on something. I don't know if he was holding back. I don't know if Boots was holding back and still taking off on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like people like to exaggerate the significance of these things like you're unfamiliar with the sport. It makes me question like your expertise. You're claiming that you know so much, but then when it comes to certain things like sparring, the results of sparring, you get so excited and you exaggerate the meaning of it that it makes me feel like you're neophyte when it comes to the game, the sport. Boxing, you see what I'm saying? Because everybody knows that, you know, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. I sparred with the former champion at light heavyweight in Tavares Thundercloud. Maybe I landed a punch. Maybe I got knocked out. Maybe I knocked him out.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Who the freak cares? Like, why does it matter? It happened in practice. I'm definitely not saying I knocked him out. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying that things happen. I'm not saying that I got the best of him. I'm not saying he got the best of me. Obviously, he's better, so you would think he got the best of me. But what I'm saying is that it's inconsequential. Who cares? At the end of the day, if it wasn't for Cinnamon fighting Bud, we wouldn't care what goes on. You see what I'm saying? So people get the best of people all the time in sparring. It goes both ways. It goes up and down. It doesn't, like, nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to be the beast all the time. And the reason why they become the beast when the lights are on is because they went through some humbling experiences, some tough experiences, some difficult experiences when the lights are off. So I think this is a good thing, man. I think it's blown out of proportion. And yes, it's good information to know. It's cool to talk about. You know, the footage could come out and Boots could be dominating Canelo. You see what I'm saying? Or Canelo could be dominating Boots. What I'm saying is that it's of little consequence more than just to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing more but feeding into the intrigue and the conversation about the fight. It really has no significance on the fight, in my personal opinion, because once again, like I said, sometimes if you do know boxing, if I'm sparring somebody, my trainer could tell me, hey, Doc, work on your left hand. Hey, Doc, work on your footwork. Hey, Doc, work on your defense. Hey, Doc, work on this. Matter of fact, I could have an injury. Matter of fact, I could have sparred 15 other rounds before I hopped in with the next guy. You know, there's so many different circumstances. Like maybe Canelo already reached his threshold for sparring rounds that day, and Boots was the last person to come in, and maybe he did finish him off. Or maybe that was just a round count, or maybe he wanted to do extra more because Boots was giving him good work. And usually when somebody gives you good work, that means they putting the beats on you. And that means that you're learning. You learn in difficult situations, but a lot of y'all so comfortable in your mediocrity that you don't even know that. In order to push yourself, you got to be in pain. You got to bleed. You got to sweat. You got to cry. You see what I'm saying? Like, no matter what you're doing, even if you're just exercising, if you're just trying to lose weight, you don't just lose weight automatically your first time going out there. No, there's times where you're going to fail. There's times where you're going to cry. There's times where you're going to fall out. You're going to feel like you can't move. But then you're going to get stronger the next day. So I think that that's good, man. I think you always want to go through the hard times in practice, especially when you're going against guys like Yo-Yo Diablo or Yonli Hernandez or Darrell Varsaint or Jaron Boots Ennis. That's what they're brought in. Their objective, the reason why they're brought in, their objective is to make it hard on Canelo. So when the fight night comes, it can be easier. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to beat Bud easily, but I do think Canelo's going to beat Bud. But I think that they're both phenomenal fighters. I think that this fight can go either way. I love it, man. It's two greats, two all-time greats in Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford, man, meeting each other. They're not fighting for greatness because they're both already great on their own. They're two great fighters clashing for a night of great boxing. You got to respect both of them no matter which side you pick, man. Shout out to Canelo. Shout out to Boots. I love this because Boots is getting preparation for Wiesma Lima. And also Canelo's getting preparation for Terence Crawford. So that's all it should be for me, man. I know it's something to talk about, but it's not that consequential, in my personal opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.